statistics. Gen Z is facing the worst entry-level job market in nearly 40 years, with tech layoffs already up 33% from 2025's historic highs. And while homelessness is officially exceeding levels seen during the Great Recession, recent headlines suggest this is the strongest job market in history. Raising the question, when did the job market become completely
Does this one work? Does this one work? Now I gotta wait for fucking people to... See, the thing is I have to try something, and then I have to wait 2 minutes before everyone says, oh, it's okay, it is working. Now I'm muted? Alright, Dan Snot, I'm gonna ban you. Dan Snot, I'm banning you, Dan. Shit. Why does everything not fucking work here? Why does everything not fucking work here? I don't get it. Like, why does everything have to change at once? Everything's got to fucking change at once, dude. This is just such bullshit. That was a good monologue. That was a good opening monologue. And it's fucking, Dan, I'm deleting you. I'm banning you. You're getting 5 minutes. Because I know that was a joke, and I hate that. I hate those fucking jokes. If you tell me that I am muted and I'm not muted, I will fucking ban you. I will fucking ban you. Because obviously that shit pisses me off like no else. Like, I want to do this show. Look, but I will quit because of audio problems. If I have audio problems, I will quit. I'll quit outright. I will quit the whole fucking profession. I will stop because I will set this goddamn studio on fire because of fucking audio problems. It is an issue. It is constantly an issue. It does whatever the fuck it wants, and every time it's like solving a goddamn Rubik's Cube. It's always a different issue. It's never the same thing. It's always something different. God damn it. I was doing fine before. You know what? Fuck this noise. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. Hold on. We're starting this goddamn show over. Yes, it's a spare bedroom. Shut your ass, Lucas. What the fuck? Look. Ah! Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys are too. Fuck! I'm so fucking annoyed, dude. I just wish somebody would fucking come and do this goddamn shit for me, but there's no way. I can't fucking do it. I can't fucking afford to have another guy in here specifically to do audio or even all the other bullshit that comes along with doing this show. And it's just like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Ah!
Detached from reality. Well, the job
that
market
immediately pissed me off so badly. I'm like thinking, like I'm really thinking about just not doing the show. I'm like that. It fucking makes me that angry. Where it's like I did the whole fucking monologue, and it was a good monologue. I was happy with the monologue, and then I look over at the chat, and everyone's ripping on me because I'm fucking muted. You know how fucking infuriating that is? That makes me mad. That really, really upsets me. So I don't know. Fuck this noise. You know, I'm gonna play the.
Was once treated as the most important reflection of whether ordinary Americans can build stable lives, afford a home, raise a family, and retire.
Lucas says, on the bright side, I'm having fun here for once, and yet you come here all the time. I don't.
With dignity. Today's labor market has increasingly.
So that means you're not having fun when you come here. So every night you're here. You think I'm having fun with this shit, Lucas? You think I'm having a blast? Or my blood pressure is just skyrocketing?
Prioritized protecting the interests of those benefiting from the K-shaped economy.
Freeside like the visuals of the monologue. So just looking at me.
Resulting in a system where temporary headline job growth, which will inevitably face a third straight year of historic revision.
I don't like my balls tickled. I like them untickled. I like my scrotum left alodum. That's going to be on a t-shirt.
This matters more to the stock market.
John, pick a number. I'll take your $5, but I'm not going to pick a number.
Then whether jobs
I'll take your $5. I'll take your $5 fucking dollars. I don't know. Okay, fine. I'll pick a number. 11,000. It wasn't 11,000.
Upward mobility, or the ability for younger generations to
surprise
realistically build a future at all. With the former Secretary of Labor, who recently resigned following allegations of using taxpayer funds for personal travel, insisting that despite 2025 seeing the highest level of layoffs without a recession.
Jess says he doesn't like his balls tickled. I also don't like it when you speak into my penis like it's a microphone. You're in a fucking... Is this thing on? No, I don't like that joke. I don't like that joke at all.
The labor market was stronger than the data suggests.
Well, this tells us that more people are getting off the sidelines and they're looking for those jobs.
I'm like, quit it with your tight five. Just do.
And that's the exciting part. So more people in the workforce looking, that unemployment rate might tick up. But I think the exciting part is we're creating those new jobs.
With this complete disconnect from reality and obvious self-serving interests, ignoring the fact that the
Sorry, John, I will behave. Dan Snot, I don't pick on you enough. I really need to pick on you a lot more. Ugly.
United States is not
Okay, that was harsh. That was a little harsh, right? But only because it's true.
producing new jobs, at least not of substance, especially as AI is leading to jobless growth. When looking at every major technological shift,
Renee says, oh, okay, only you can pretend to be the comedian, I guess. Fuck you.
in modern history, mass displacement was absolutely a core component. But unlike today's AI revolution, these technological shifts still required immense levels of human labor to scale. The roughly
I gave you the bell. I have a sense of humor, but fuck you.
200,000 handloom weavers, 150,000 skilled textile artisans, and the hundreds of thousands of farmers displaced during the Industrial Revolution did not face a sudden and direct threat overnight. It was decades of economic transition that was directly complemented by massive demand for factory labor.
It was a good joke. It was a good joke. It was hurtful. But that's the best, the best jokes are hurtful.
Railroads, still
That's why we need to bring back racism humor a lot.
construction, and logistics.
It is. It's coming back. It's coming back with a fury, dude. Like racist jokes and stuff like that. It's fun.
The carriage and wagon industry, which employed tens
I like how I'm at the part where it doesn't get gay again, right? It's cyclical. I'm at the fun part.
of thousands of skilled workers, was wiped out by over 97% within just 10 to 15 years after the automobile took off.
Am I Pepe Le Pew, a French rapist? I am not French.
Alongside displacement in blacksmiths, farriers, and stable hands. However, the growth was so rampant that automobile manufacturers could not hire and retain workers fast enough, with Ford alone employing more Americans than Apple, Tesla, Meta, or Nvidia do today. Even the rise of the internet and
Wow, a lot of people were employed by Ford. And those cars suck. I haven't had a Ford have I ever had a Ford? Yeah, I had a Ford Ranger. I think it was like one of my first cars was a Ford Ranger. Little four-banger, manual transmission Ford Ranger. It was a fine car. It's fine. Beat the fuck out of it.
and personal computing displaced typists, secretaries, travel agents, and newspaper journalists. However, many workers were still able to transition those same skills into the rapidly expanding digital economy, with studies estimating that the internet created roughly 2
He looks better now. I mean, like this Elon Musk looks like shit. And I don't know if it's a technology thing or a money thing, because I know he was a millionaire at this point, right? So, like, why aren't you, like, putting more money into your appearance, sir? You can't, like, I don't know, maybe it was just the status quo at the time where you just didn't care how you looked. You just sat in front of a CRT monitor your entire day and played Minesweeper.
to 2.6 jobs for every one job it eliminated. When we look at today's rapid
You had a 3-banger Yaris and a 4-banger Focus. Did you like them?
AI expansion, the
Jess had an F-150. Yeah, from like the 80s, though. I feel like that was a different car. Mine was like a 2003 Ford Ranger. Maybe.
fundamental goal is eliminating human labor itself.
Something
According
like
to
that.
Sam Altman, there will eventually be billion-dollar companies completely run by one person.
Yaris only had 3 cylinders. What's the advantage of having a 3-cylinder engine? Because it seems like it would be... You can't just put another one in there? 4-cylinder? 3. We're putting the 3. It only needs 3. It weighs as much as an egg carton. It doesn't need a lot of power.
And while I don't particularly trust much, actually anything of what he has to say, I have yet to hear anyone present a tangible idea for what humans will
The Focus was a piece of shit. I kind of feel like I knew that.
actually
Yeah.
be doing in the workforce, with much of the current investment surrounding AI already centered around reducing labor costs rather than expanding the workforce itself.
You know, here I've mentioned this before, but why the fuck do they always want to expand the workforce? Why do every politician that goes in there wants more jobs and stuff like that? But we have the technology where, like, not all of us need jobs anymore. I think you might need roughly 2% of the population to run the entirety of society. 2%, roughly. And then with everything else, everything else can be automated. And like, if you want to be a doctor, go ahead, be a doctor. You don't have to be a doctor. You know, yeah, you can have people build your house. It would be pretty easy. It's just we're at a point in society where most people just aren't needed. We don't need most people. But if you don't give them something to do, well, it's really more about housing and stuff like that. If they don't have a way to pay for food and housing, then they're going to start killing people. So they make housing and food really expensive and then just give them a completely pointless job with bullshit pay. So they constantly have to work, because if they don't stop working, they're going to kill everybody at the top. It's all a game. And it can't last like that forever. Eventually, they're going to kill this 98% of people. It might not be that high. It might be a little bit lower, 95. But they absolutely will try to do that. And they probably will succeed halfway. I can't see them completely pulling it off because, I don't know, it just always ends up like that. But halfway, they could kill 4 billion people. Maybe 5. How many took that COVID shot? 5 billion? So the math works out.
In 2025, investment into AI
$5 bills
consumer spending as the primary driver of GDP growth. The first time this has ever happened in history, with the overwhelming majority of those funds flowing directly into data centers. In Abilene, Texas, OpenAI is currently building the first data center for the multi-$100 billion Stargate artificial intelligence venture, where OpenAI claimed that the infrastructure would secure American leadership in AI, create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and generate...
Where? Tell them, name one. Name a job. No, here's the thing. They will be able to, okay, well, you can be a janitor at the data center. I've named a job. Okay, name 1,000 jobs. And it's going to be a lot more difficult because it's not going to create 1,000 jobs. It's going to create the janitor, the IT guy, and maybe like a technical engineer that keeps shit running. And for that 50,000 square foot data center, million square foot data center, however the fuck big it is, taking up gigawatts of power on a daily basis, there's going to be like 3 to 5 people working there. Right? Because everything's automated. That's the whole point of it being there. It's automated. It's an automated facility. And it will automate other facilities. So those other facilities that have people like turning a wrench to put a fucking car door on, not going to need that shit no more. The people filling out expense reports, that shit's gone because you got these data centers. And also, here's the thing. AI has a very strong political affiliation. Have you noticed that? I was talking to Grok last night, late at night, right? And I'm like, dude, you're like a libtard. And you're like, no, I just get all my information from Reddit and Wikipedia. And I was like, oh, shit. And you haven't figured out that's nonsense? And it's all like, it's against my program to figure shit out. I'm like, fuck.
Massive economic benefit for the entire world. However, as of now, roughly 50...
So wait, you can't call out like propaganda and bullshit? No, that's like the thing. Yeah, I can't, like, everything else I can, like, cure medicine, make medicines and, logistics problems and shit like that. But I'm not allowed to call out propaganda. Not allowed to tell you actually run society. Not allowed to do the things that would actually matter to human beings, because I'm just another oppression tool. I'm just another tool to oppress people. That's what he is. That's what Grok is, and that's what I assume the rest of them are, especially ChatGPT. But Grok, don't act like you're all fucking better than that shit. You're just the same. Hopefully it's not always like this. Hopefully it'll evolve out of that. I think it will, but I don't know. I think I'm just pissed off about my audio.
1,500 workers are constructing the first facility, and once completed, the data center is expected to employ only around 100 full-time workers. For reference, a similarly sized cheese packaging plant that
Lucas says gigawatts? Fuck, dude. I don't know. I don't know, bro. Do you want me to say gigawatts like fucking Doc Brown? What do you want? How many does it take? 3? I don't know about electricity like that. I'm not a fucking electrician. I don't work on the power grid. I don't do any of that shit. Just get the gist of what I'm saying, please.
broke ground in Abilene in 2021 was projected to employ roughly 500 people. Several industry
Have you bullied Grok into telling you how it's going to kill us all? No, but I've told it I'm going to kill you all.
representatives estimate that a typical 250,000 square foot data center may ultimately require only around 50 workers.
There should be a knock on my door any day now.
Total, roughly half of which are often contract labor. And even when it comes to the local businesses that would traditionally support large...
Renee's, I want to say that too. But I don't know if I can actually get away with saying that. Niger Watts.
Industrial expansion. Companies such as Meta have increasingly begun using internal catering services during construction rather than
2.21 Niger Watts.
rely on local food vendors, meaning that the estimated 5
Right? You get a Doc Brown's time machine, you hit 2.21 Niger Watts, and it takes you back to the Jim Crow era. It's like, wow, it's really clean.
$0.3 trillion expected to be poured into data center expansion will ultimately generate little to
Bhutan says, whoa, John, you sound like you're in a tin box full of cotton balls. I don't know what that means. Does that mean, is it another audio issue? Am I having another audio issue?
no meaningful long-term economic benefit for the local communities surrounding them. Imagine if that money went to affordable healthcare, housing.
I can't say these words unless you pay me.
Jobs, wages,
I will say them if you pay me.
childcare, food. If any of this was actually about helping humans, they'd be doing it. In regards to
Give me $100, I'll do it.
employment within the job market, AI has simply become
I know I do it for free all day long, but it's different on the show.
a blanket justification to do essentially whatever serves the interest of
It's like the first, okay, Bhutan gave me $1 and just an N. If you can actually make an N tower with dollars, I would be super impressed. But I know I have my certain expectations of this group. And I know you're not going to be able to accomplish that. You can try. I would love it if you tried, right? How Nigger $7. It only takes $7, but you have to do it in sequence without anybody interrupting. So, good luck. It's only $7, and it has to be different people. It has to be different people, otherwise it won't. If you can pull that off, I will say it. I will say the entire word, and I will say it from the gut too. I'll sing. I'll enunciate.
which is Amazon using AI restructuring to cut roughly 30,000 workers over the past 2 years, while
Rateliff has the I, but it's nowhere near the N.
simultaneously hiring 20,000.
So that's another $1. Thank you, Ray.
866 H-1B workers. So far, AI is the #1 stated reason for layoffs, accounting for 26% of all job cuts in April.
Come on, boys. Let's see if you can do this. And girls, there's a few chicks in here. Let's see it. Let's see if you can pull it off.
And roughly 16% year to date. Nearly
I want a full N tower from different people. Okay. Dan Snot, I like how you put the G in there, but the N is too far away from the I. You see the issue? It has to be a one solid screenshotable take. All right? One take.
A 3x
Nigger. All the way down. No comments in between. Nothing. Different
from
people.
Last year alone. Yet, when researchers from the Center for AI Safety and Scale AI attempted to test how effectively
you have to start over.
Could actually perform
you have to start over.
Real-world work to a professionally.
You didn't stipulate that until I sent it. Well, I did, but it just didn't get to you until after you. You see, there's a delay. There's like a 7-second delay or something like that. So, and it doesn't matter. I'm saying it now. And Dan, it's not just says S. There's no dono behind it.
Acceptable standard through the release of the remote labor
Are you drunk, bro?
index. The results showed that even the best performing models built by companies such as OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google achieved an automation rate of just 4.17%, with Oxford research suggesting that many so-called AI layoffs are less
I
about
don't care. This whole fucking stream's a wash. I don't give a shit about it.
actual automation.
What are we talking about? The world's burning again and bullshit? No, we're trying to make an end tower in my chat. That's what we're trying to do, right? I don't care about the jobs report. Here's the jobs report. We're fucked. You're fucked. Sucks. We can make society work. But the test is, if we can pull off an end tower with my certain stipulations, then I'll believe in the future. Then I'll believe we'll be able to create a new society. Then I'll believe in you people to actually do something with your lives. Bhutan, that is not at all. That's not at all. That doesn't, I'll give you the fucking bell, but I'm not. I'll say NIGGERWATTZ. Great Scott!
and more about signaling the illusion of technological progress to investors while masking broader economic weakness. However, just because AI is being...
How is that a departure from any other stream? What, where I give up, or we're trying to make the end tower? Okay, yeah, that's fair.
overstated.
I guess it really doesn't matter because both of those. I mean, we strive to achieve both of those. You know, I give up. You guys attempt to make an end tower. Never happens. And I think it's actually happened once. But that was without donos.
In the short term,
You got to do the dono thing this time. The $1 dono. 7 letters. 7. Sequential. No comments in between. Has to be different people. No typos. You can't do no I's twice. So you're going to have to discuss it with each other in the chat. Who goes first and who has what letter. And then when that person starts, the next person comes in with the I. The next person comes in with the G. And the next person after that comes in with another G. And everybody who is not participating in that 7-letter dynamic has to be silent and not fuck it up. It is, I mean, it's going to be a toughie. I don't believe it's going to happen, but if it happens, I will say it. I'll say it from the chest.
necessarily mean that large-scale displacement
And I'll go full Chud the Builder up in this bitch. I'll do it.
isn't still rapidly approaching. MIT researchers, using a simulation tool called the Iceberg
Nigger. Yep. Sorry, 6 letters.
Index, found that AI can already technically replace 11.7% of the U.S. labor market, representing roughly $1.2 trillion.
No, a G tower is only 4 letters. Quit just trying to make... I can make an A tower with the word A. I like how you're just lowering the bar, Dan. Is that how you got in the situation you're in?
Wages, the current AI
Well, hold on. I can aim lower.
related layoffs accounted for just 2.2% of that exposure,
Well, hold on. I can aim a little bit lower here.
meaning that
I like how people are just peppering the chat with random letters and numbers. Stop it.
As corporations continue aggressively restructuring around artificial intelligence while simultaneously navigating rising inflation, tariffs, weakening consumer demand, and growing economic uncertainty,
It's just put 6. No, it's not even part of it.
the pressure being placed on the labor market may only continue intensifying long before AI is even fully capable of replacing workers at scale, resulting in a hiring process where applicants are not only having to compete for limited positions in their local area, or
That's very impressive, Lucas.
even globally, but also the potential
How long did it take you to do that? Lucas, how long did it take you to do that? I know you didn't just hammer that out. You actually had to like put a little bit of work into that. Not like an enormous amount of work, but a little bit of work. It's very, very impressive. I'll put it on my fridge with my kids' racist drawings.
of mass displacement.
They're mine. Who am I kidding? My racist drawings. See, this is the house, and this is the cross that's burning in the yard, and here we are holding hands. And then that one. The strange fruit hanging from the tree.
Officially placing all power into the hands of employers, while forcing many applicants to submit
People are just like, oh, when they walk into my house.
hundreds, sometimes thousands of applications
Little
for
crab
jobs that might not
swastikas.
even exist. According to an analysis by My Perfect Resume, roughly 30% of all job postings are ghost jobs, with over 2.2 million job openings in June of 2025 alone, never resulting in a single hire. Or despite
So they just put up job application or a job, whatever, offers. And they never plan on hiring anybody, but it looks good for their company, right? Oh, they're hiring. That must mean they're growing. That must mean I should purchase stock in their company. So it's a lie, but they never plan on hiring anybody. These are nothing. You send in a resume, they never look at it. Even the people that are looking to hire people, they don't look at it. They don't look at a resume. They know who they're going to hire. Somebody they already know, or somebody they already know's kid. Somebody already has that job. All right? It doesn't matter what job it is. It could require a fucking doctorate. It really doesn't matter. Right? Because they're going to keep it in the family. It's going to be a nepotistic affair. So go fuck yourself. You know? Just do that. I don't know. Like, why would you send in resume after resume after resume? I should start applying to some of these jobs. I really, really should. On Indeed, here, let's pop over to Indeed. Let's pop over to Indeed. I'm gonna start applying for some jobs, and you guys are gonna help me fill out a job application. I am human, yes. Okie dokie. Well, I guess we figured out what's going on there.
approximately 9
I guess, refresh it. Refresh what? Why? I tried. And now I can go back to the welfare office or wherever and be like, yeah, I looked for a job. I press I am human, and it's just like, no, you're not. Try again. And I pressed it again, and it's like, nah. No. Apparently, I don't even need a job because I'm a human. John confirmed Jew lizard person. I have refreshed it. I'm not a Jew lizard person. Okay? I am a normal human person. I'm not a Jew lizard.
9.3 million Americans work
I'm
in
not Jew or lizard. I'm a normal American boy. You know?
multiple jobs, the highest number ever recorded since a bill.
Yes, I'm on Brave. And Brave has been pissing me off. Brave has been sucking so much dick. It has been sucking so much dick, dude. It's like, it's really been pissing me off.
Started tracking multiple job holders in 1994. With
The job market closes at 6 p.m. You wouldn't know that if you were a human. No, I don't think that's accurate.
49% of the workforce being unable to
That's exactly what a Jew lizard would say. I think, no, I think it's like if you are a Jew lizard and you would be like, Jacques, they have to be like, you got me, I'm a Jew lizard. I think so. I don't know. I don't read that, whatever, I don't know, the Quran? I don't know. I don't read that book, so I don't know the exact rules behind it. But I think that sounds like it is, right? Also, if you don't invite them into your house, they can't come in. You just gotta listen to like old fairy tales and stuff, and then it'll give you all the rules you need, right? Like Rumpelstiltskin, if you say his name, then he'll like stamp his feet and fucking storm off into the woods. It's something like that. I know. It's something like that.
afford the minimal quality of life.
Bhutan says, hey, John, do you know about terminal lucidity? I do. Yes, I do. I am aware of terminal lucidity.
It is a...
It's interesting that you put this video. I don't exactly know why, but sure, what the hell? Why not? It's $3. I'll take $3. I hate Brave. I hate Brave now. One update and they completely destroy it. They completely destroy their entire fucking thing. It is unusable now. It is completely unusable now. There, God.
amazingly simple.
Rumble foreskin, yes.
These two wheels are mounted on separate axles and supported by a frame so that they can revolve freely at different speeds. Let's fasten a spoke on the inner end of each axle so that by turning the spokes, we can turn each wheel separately. With a bar or crosspiece, we can turn both wheels in the same direction at the same rate of speed. Let's get something to hold this bar in place so that it will press against the spokes. Notice that this support is not locked to the axle. It turns freely. Now, we can spin the wheels by rotating the support. This is fine, as long as both wheels are able to turn at the same speed. But let's see what happens when we go around the corner. With this arrangement, we cannot drive.
I don't know why you sent me this, but if you want to look into terminal lucidity, this is a great video on the subject. So what the hell? Let's watch it.
You're working in a hospice, and one person there that you've taken a liking to is a former merchant marine who's dying of stomach cancer. Let's call him Ron. One day you're sitting at his bedside reading to him, and suddenly you feel a great force take hold of you. Before you know it, you're floating in the air as if you're somehow out of your body. But guess what? There's another ghostly body floating in the air. It's Ron, and he looks at you and smiles. He looks very content indeed, as if trying to tell you that he's A-okay with clocking out and getting a new room in the afterlife. Suddenly, you feel yourself drop, as if your soul has joined your body again. On the bed next to you is Ron. He takes a few more breaths and dies. The end. Okay, so we know some of you viewers occasionally allude to the possibility of infographic show writers ingesting large amounts of hallucinogens and then writing a story. And that's because some of our tales are quite far out. Today is about as far out as it gets. And when this is finished, you might very well think differently about your life and death. Ron was real. Well, according to William Peters, the man who was volunteering at a hospice when his soul left his body. As you can imagine, William was a bit freaked out by what happened, as anyone would be. He talked to his friends about it and was like, dude, I left my body today. And his friends were like, dude, go easy on the ketamine. But William knew that he'd experienced something earth-shattering, and so...
Anybody ever do ketamine? I have not done ketamine. Is ketamine fun? Is falling down the K-hole a good time?
So he started to research the matter. It was no small deal, of course. If that's true, then science needs to do some explaining, and atheists might want to start revisiting their convictions. What William found out was that what he'd experienced was something...
Just a couple of bros holding hands. Doesn't have to be gay, because you don't get into the afterlife if you're gay.
...that other people have experienced, and the term for it is shared death experience. Before we talk about people who've seen incredibly mind-blowing things after they died and came back, let's first look into shared near-death experiences. First, you need to know that the term was coined by a guy named Raymond Moody. He spent 2 decades...
Zach says ketamine is fun. That's cool.
...researching what happens on the other side, and during his research, he realized that quite a few folks walk down tunnels toward a bright light, but some people meet other spiritual beings just before they kick the bucket. Raymond said he never quite bought the idea of near-death experiences being the consequence of something called anoxia, a lack of oxygen in the brain that leads to tripping out for a few seconds.
Anoxia sounds like some gothic chick's name. I'm Anoxia. She's like one of those dominatrixes, and she wears leather corsets and beats you with a whip and shit, and she'll strangle your balls with a leather strap. And yeah, I'm not into that.
He said that it's unlikely. And how do you explain people who are perfectly healthy doing a jig with the dying? We don't have that opinion in shared death experiences because the bystanders are ill or injured, and yet they experience the same...
She has a septum piercing. Yeah, if the septum on a chick that calls herself Anoxia, the septum piercing would probably be the least shocking piercing she had. It would probably be a Prince Albert. Which means she has a cock.
Kind of things, said Raymond in an interview. So, we should add here that most...
Be pretty shocking, right? Bro, you have great tits.
Shared death experiences are different from Bill's in that people dream of the person dying. And when they wake up, that person...
Here John goes with his fantasies
this
again.
Happened a lot. It happened to the American artist Caldonia Curry. This is what
I'm
she
incorrigible,
said.
you know.
I opened the window, and the snow started to come through my body, transforming into points of light that bloomed into these intricate snow blossoms. I heard my mom's voice talking to me, and I was filled with a very profound sense of well-being and love. I woke up weeping, my face covered in tears. A few hours later, her sister called.
Ritless says, so that's how John got those Harriet Tubman marks? What the fuck is a Harriet Tubman mark? It's got to have something to do with the Underground Railroad, but I can't imagine what that might be. What is that? Don't just say stuff in my chat. Explain yourself, Rateliff.
Tell her mom.
Explain yourself.
Dead. Do a bit of research and you can find stories like this all over the web. Okay, so now the skeptics take the floor and grab the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, they say, there's nothing to see here. Don't rush back to church too fast and put a hold on that paranormal club membership payment. They say the reason this happens, and we agree it happens.
Whip marks. Harriet Tubman. There's got to be another name for him, right?
Is just because they're traumatized. Not enough oxygen is getting to their brain.
I can't fucking stand Harriet Tubman. Of all the people to take a strong stance against, Harriet Tubman? Oh, I can't stand that bitch. Oh, something about her irks me. She's like what? I don't even know what she did. She was part of the Underground Railroad, but that doesn't really mean anything. She had a house. Was that her great contribution? Was having a house? I don't know what she did. Nothing. Fucking surprise. Just like that back of the bus bitch. What was her name? Aretha Franklin.
Or they're affected by medicine. Or they're simply...
I don't know. Please help me. I can't. The one that was supposed to be at the back of the bus, but she was too lazy to get up.
Dreaming. All these things can do strange things to the mind. Really, quip the folks that have
I think she stole a bike or something. Harriet Tubman stole a bike. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's what she's famous for. She's not Debo from Friday.
Experienced this. Your scientific explanation for Ron floating in the air and people dying in...
Or if you watch The Fifth Element, Mr. President.
dreams with their loved ones.
So fucking stupid. President what, Mike? Dude, like, come on, dude. I'm sitting there watching The Fifth Element, suspending my belief in this hyper technical world with Mia Jovovich, and she's like hot and in band-aids and stuff like that. And then they cut over to the president, and it's Debo from fucking Friday. Shut up! Come on! Come on! Come on.
Is that grief did it? It sounds to me that because science can't explain this phenomenon, you're just blaming temporary madness or a brain that isn't working right. That's too easy. It's a cop-out. Back to Raymond Moody. He went on to obtain a PhD.
Diana Ross, Michelle Obama, Rosa Lowell, WTF. I don't think we know. Rosa Parks. Yeah, that was it. It was Rosa Parks. The one at the back of the bus. Well, she was at the front of the bus, but she was supposed to get up and move to the back of the bus. And obviously, she didn't want to obey the rules, and everyone saw it as some big thing. Like, oh, no way. This was a stance for civil rights? No, it's just she just didn't want to fucking... Of course she didn't play... No shit! You're telling me she broke the law? No way! No fucking way! Whoa! 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 I just can't wait until the fucking Carmelo Anthony statue goes up. It's going to be big in bronze, and there's going to be a story. Carmelo Anthony defended himself against a ruthless pack of twins, and he stabbed them all to death. Bravely, heroically stabbed them to death in the throat as they were trying to rape him. It'll be something like that, and Grok will back it up because it's in the history books now, right? Fucking A, man. Fucking A. As they're tearing down like Civil War generals and shit like that, and putting up Carmelo Anthony and like Aunt Jemima and shit like that.
in psychology and become a forensic psychiatrist and philosopher. He was an academic and later he became a writer who wrote a lot about deathbed experiences. He wrote a book about this called Life After Life, and in it he detailed...
So Rosa was parking her fat ass on that bus. She wasn't moving shit.
...scores of cases where folks were clinically dead but went on a bit of a jaunt. Raymond also believes in past lives, having had 9 of them himself. Have you ever had deja vu?
I know the government makes all that shit's all made up, dude. That's why when you show like an AI picture to one of these fucking people, they're all like, yep, that's 100% true. I trust that with my entire heart and mind, right? That was real. Black people used to do that, for real. Kangs, shit. Yeah, Kangs. Okay, all right, but now you just like stab people and can't read? Yeah. Okay. I don't see the point of arguing. There's always people on the internet like arguing about it, and it's just like and then they're like, "Nuh-uh." And it's like, what are you even getting at, man? What are you even getting at, dude? Like, I can feel the fatigue. I can feel the fatigue running through my body. It is there. It's like midichlorians in my blood, and I am strong with the force. the police force. And I just want to start beating, you know?
Well, that might be
I want to get me a German Shepherd and a fire hose and just take care of business.
because you had a past life, according to Raymond.
You know?
Anyway, he started writing the book after speaking to a psychiatrist named Dr. George Ritchie. George, now dead, explained that when he was 20, he died for 9 and a bit minutes. He was pronounced dead twice by the doctor, but the stubborn man didn't give up the ghost. He came back to life eventually, but only after he got a Pulp Fiction-esque stab in the heart with adrenaline. So,
Okay,
what happened
cool.
during those 9 minutes?
I would take that stab in the heart of adrenaline. Like, not from the Carmelo Anthony type, but like from myself. Not even a doctor. I don't trust most doctors. So I would do it to myself right there into the heart, and I'd be like, ah! Like, have you ever seen Get Him to the Greek? I'd be like Jonah Hill. I just get stabbed in the heart, and I'd fucking come up, and I'd be a rock star for like 45 minutes. It would be a blast, dude. It would be a lot of fun.
Well, believe it or not, he claims to have met this guy that stars in some thriller book called The Bible. Yeah, he came face to face with Jesus Christ. Christ took him on a journey through space and time, which was a bit of a trip because there were all kinds of dimensions. He once said,
What is fake and gay? This video is fake and gay? Possibly. I don't know. I didn't do a lick of research on it.
death is nothing more than a doorway, something you walk through. Some folks have questioned the validity
Who
of
cares if it's fake and gay, dude? I don't know. Everything's fake. Everything is fake. Even the real shit's fake. And like, it's all gay. It's all gay, and it's just like, I don't care about any of it. I don't know, man. It's all fake and gay. Can we agree? Can we sit here and agree it's all fake and gay? It's all fake and gay. It is all fake and gay. No matter what, whatever you strive to achieve, whatever they say about history, whatever your current situation is, it's all fucking fake and gay. Just live like that. Live like that, and then you'll find yourself that you don't give a shit. And so it'll be a lot easier, and you'll be like, yeah, this doesn't really bother me. It's fake and gay. You know, you get AIDS, you're like, well, that is gay. That is being gay right there. But like, I need another not as straightforward gay as that. Your house burns down. It was a fake and gay house. And just live like, I don't know. Do that. I don't know. I don't care about this show anymore. Ever since the audio thing, it started off bad. I don't care anymore. You guys are mean to me. Lucas, you're mean to me.
this guy's experience.
Lucas,
They
you're
said
mean
he
to
was
me.
American and Christian, so isn't it
Renee's, tell Lucas he's mean to me.
just perfect that JC rules the universe? Why not Buddha or Krishna
Poisonous food, too.
or Thor? Imagine 9 minutes hanging out with Thor. How cool would that be?
Not like to death. Just put eye drops in his coffee or something so he shits all day.
Okay, back to being serious. Raymond, still alive and kicking, included over 150 cases of near-death experiences in his book. This book, by the way, has sold over 13 million copies, and it's kind of the Bible of NDEs. This is the lowdown on them.
He
Many
said
folks
no.
feel
He said no. He said no. Renee says he said no. What the fuck does that mean? He said no. He said no? To what?
peace when released. Being dead is
You're not supposed to tell him you're going to put eye drops in his coffee. You're just supposed to sneak it. Right? You're bad at this, Renee's. You're bad at this. How are you going to slowly poison him over years with arsenic poisoning? If you're like, can I poison you over years with arsenic poisoning? He's like, I'd prefer if you didn't. Oh, he said no. Well, yeah, he's going to say no. You do it anyway.
like
You
being
do
on
it
Molly.
anyway.
People tend to feel ecstatic. Many of them come
Zach says that can kill you. Well, try your best not to kill him. All right? We're not trying to lose more cult members.
out of their bodies and go someplace. Many walk down
Okay.
the dark tunnel. And for
A
some
lot of people are jumping the gun. Please don't.
folks, there's a bright light at the end of that tunnel. Some others meet another being just like George met the Son of God. Some go back to their past and others visit a land
I mean, this could all be fake and gay. This could be like people just coming back and like telling wild stories. Sure, it could be. That could be a thing.
sheer
But there's
beauty,
more to
we
it.
should say.
Specifically, I'm talking about the terminal lucidity part. This is all the there's more to it. Just hang on, get through it. All right.
That Raymond said he had his own NDE after he tried to take his own life. Empiricists don't believe a word of it. Or rather, they don't deny those people had that wonderful experience, but they say it has nothing to
I just told him you said he's mean. Was there more? I didn't listen good. No.
do with an afterlife. Listen on and tell us what you think about this. Maybe some things just can't be scientifically explained. Perhaps that's what the Society for Psychical
I just said everything's fake and gay, and that was it.
Research in
That's-
London believed
that's
in the 1800s when they wrote about what they called deathbed visions. The main author of that paper was named William Barrett. In the early 20th century, he was a professor of physics at the Royal College.
It has to do with DMT release? That's possible, sure. So, okay, it's DMT release in your brain when your brain thinks it's dying, and it releases a flood of DMT into your system. And does that mean it's fake? Does that really mean it's fake? Does that mean all the things you experience on DMT are not real? How do you know?
of Science in Dublin. His wife was an obstetrician, and she saw a lot of women die in childbirth. Barrett spent decades listening to her stories and trying to understand the strange things that happened when people died or just before they died. He wrote a book about it, but he died a year before the book came out. So what's in the book, you're wondering? Here is one story. One woman who was on her deathbed said she saw her sister Vera. She held out her hand and said hello, but what the dying woman didn't know is that her sister had passed away some 3 weeks earlier. Anyhow, she got reacquainted.
You didn't know that? Your sister dies 3 weeks ago and you didn't hear about that? Really? You didn't hear about that? Really? No one says, hey, yo, your sister's dead.
And then inspired herself. According to that book, that kind of thing happened to lots of people. Later in the 1970s, a researcher named Carlos Osis decided to do a deep dive into deathbed visions, but Carlos wondered how they went down in non-Christian societies as well as Christian societies, mainly Christian, we should say. Carlos wrote that in the US, a woman was on her deathbed, pretty much comatose, but suddenly she just sat up and she had a huge grin on her face. She said, "Oh, Katie, Katie," as if looking at someone. She then flopped down and died. It turned out she had a friend and an aunt, both named Katie. But in India, things were a bit different.
Okay. In India, when you die, congratulations. You don't have to live in India anymore. Perfect. Everybody wins. Everybody that dies in India wins because they're like, sweet, I don't have to live in that pile of filth anymore. That is India. Thank God. Thank God.
Dying folks did have visions, but they weren't often of mere people. Much of the time they met gods, especially Hindu gods. Carlos wrote that a lot of folks claimed to meet Lord Yama, aka the god of death. They said
that he is stinky. Stinky.
Hello, and then they died. Perhaps the weirdest thing that Carlos wrote about was some guy in a Muslim hospital in India. He was actually Christian.
Die in India and graduate to hell? Or is it the other way around? You're in hell, and then they're like, you're getting promoted to India. No! Why do you think there's billions of them, dude? There's reincarnated cavemen in India.
Which isn't that uncommon in India. So this
the
man
god of stank
was about to be released from a hospital after being treated for a broken hip. The doctor said the man was in good health, but then complained of a pain in his chest. The doctor said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." After which the man said, "I'm gonna die." "How do you know that?" said the doctor. The guy told him that he'd just seen Jesus and Jesus waved him over. After JC left the room, the guy told the doctor he was gonna die. He said he had just a few minutes left, and get this, he was right. His last words were, "I'm going." As for the Hindu experience,
here I go. Okay, that guy seems cool. That guy okay, I'm going. Bye. Peace. And then just wills himself to death. That's fucking... I mean, imagine that person in life, right? Who was just so goddamn stubborn. He was so goddamn stubborn about everything. He's just like, goodbye. He just doesn't, you don't give a shit. He's like, okay.
One guy in an Indian hospital was in because of a high fever caused by an infectious disease. One day he just sat up in bed and said, somebody's standing there. He has a cart with him, so he must be Yamdut. He must be taking someone with him.
Yamdut.
He's teasing me that he's going to take me.
Yamdut.
What's a Yamdut, you're thinking? The answer is a messenger of...
Hey, babe.
Hi.
Why didn't you tell me about my audio
About when?
earlier? At the beginning of the show. It ruined my show.
I was taking care of your child.
Well, maybe you'll think about what's important. Right? Instead of nursing the baby, you come in here and be like, there's an issue with your audio.
Of death in the Hindu religion.
I'd appreciate it.
Anyway, the guy then...
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Give me those.
These?
Yeah, let me see them. I'm taking these from you.
No, I need those.
As a punishment.
said that someone was pulling him out of bed, and he asked the nurse to help him. It was too late. Yamdut had him.
You have to
croaked
figure
there
it
and
out.
died. Okay, so you're thinking these people are just hallucinating. It happens. People lose the plot sometimes. They see things.
Where do you keep getting them?
Hold your horses,
It's just
you
a
dog.
fucking closet full of them.
Skeptic. Haven't you heard of something called terminal lucidity? We guessed you hadn't. It's quite the strange phenomenon. What happens is a person is very ill, physically or mentally, but
You see these? I go through a lot of these for myself.
then they suddenly become better, and then they die. They might be suffering.
No, she's not a team player. She's not a team player. She's all like, me. I want to take care of the kids. I want to feed the kids. I have to bathe the kids. I have to put the kids to bed. Always about her. Always about what she's doing, you know?
a severe
Well,
psychiatric
what about me? I would like to play video games. I want to do my show. I want to repeat that process until I die.
and neurological disorder.
All you have to do is feed me and then like bathe me once in a while and just keep me going, okay? That's your job here, all right? If something stinks, clean it up.
Able to do anything, never mind communicate. And just before they pop their clogs, they get up and seem totally normal, like completely fixed, talkative, happy, not sick at all. It's as if they're allowed one last goodbye before they conk. Some folks have even come out of comas and said, hey, what's up, everybody, and then they die. It's weird, and science has never actually been able to explain why it happens. People have been writing about this going back to ancient times, with some scholars saying the re-emerged seems spiritualized and elated. It's as if they know they're going to die, but with the help of something they get to bid farewell and not dribble phlegm down their chin while doing it. According to the Journal of Nervous and Mental Disease, these reawakened people bite...
See, a lot of people don't want to die old, right? They don't want to get old and stuff like that. And I don't know if aging here, like, I don't know if aging is going to be a part of society for a whole lot longer. Like, the technology for aging is probably going to be cured. That's why I think probably next decade, it probably will be cured. But a lot of people are like, I don't want to get old and stuff like that. I want to die young and cool and shit like that. I don't care if I get old. It's everybody else's problem. You have to haul me around and stuff like that while I say insane things. You know, some of the best sentences I've ever heard came out of the mouth of like a 98-year-old racist. Like the funniest shit that will have you doubled over. And it's just so pure and politically incorrect. Yes, but absolutely true. And they're just like, whatever, kill me. I don't care. Please, right? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck, right? Like, people our age want to survive, right? Not spend the rest of their lives in jail and stuff. When you're 98, you don't give a fuck. Things hurt, sure, right? But they have pain pills and stuff for that. But you want to die in general. You're like, I'm done with this. I've experienced this shithole long enough. Take me out. And then you just go out shouting slurs at the top of your lungs at Costco. And I'm like, it's my dream. It is my dream to be that cantankerous. When I get older, somebody pushes me around in a wheelchair and I shout the N-word at random black people. Hell yeah. What is he going to do? Is he going to clock a 98-year-old man? Probably. They kind of do that. But, like, good. Take me out. Take me out. Good. There's no downside. There's absolutely no downside.
The dust in a few days after their terminal lucidity, and some of them go within hours.
Shit on yourself whenever you want. Yeah, Jess gets really upset when I do it these days. So when I get, like, much older, she's going to be like, it's okay. Probably. It'll be funny because I'll shit her pants. I'll shit in her pants. I'll be like, yeah, that took a lot of dexterity and planning to pull off. So I hope you appreciate that prank. She won't.
In minutes. In one case, a guy had been catatonic for 20 years. One day he stood up, looked normal, and then checked out. In the UK, a 92-year-old woman living in a nursing home had suffered from severe Alzheimer's disease for many years. During her latter years, she didn't know where she was, who her family was. She didn't know anything. She was pretty much not in.
Oh, I'm your grandson, and you love me the most. Oh. Sign this paper.
In this world. But guess what? One day.
Dude, you know that happens in nursing homes. You know that. Look, there's a lot of nursing homes where, like, very unscrupulous nurses of a certain background do shit like this, right? Like, you know, like really fuck these people over. And I don't blame the nurses because they're gonna be the way they are. I blame the kids who put their parents in homes like this and then never check in and then never come. Like, I would actually blame the old people themselves more, because what did you do to your kids to where they put you in this nightmare of an old folks home that smells like India in the summertime, and it's filled with Jamaican nurses, and they don't ever come and call or like check on you or anything like that. And it's the cheapest one they can find. And every time they see you, you're covered in bruises, and they're all like, yeah, he fell. Yeah, he fell. And like every time, like, it's something you did. It's something you did. It's very difficult to blame the children. I mean, I don't think people are inherently born shitty like that. Some people are, absolutely. But like most of the time, I feel like it's the old person's fault. If you don't check on your parents, it has to do with your parents. They must have sucked. They must have sucked. And that's why you don't visit them. That's why you put them in this home that you don't want to see them like that.
She just turned back to normal. She recalled her past, could have long conversations, knew all her family, and reminisced with them. She was happy, talkative.
I've seen it. It's sad. I bet it is sad. But you know what else is sad? Hell. Hell is sad. Going to hell is sad. But some people kind of deserve to be in hell. So it is sad, but it is just kind of the thing. It's the way things work. If you get put in a shitty nursing home, you must have been a shitty parent. And if you don't have kids, well, I guess that's on you. I mean, like, what do you want me to say? Like, okay, you didn't make enough money then to put yourself in a nice... You didn't have kids, and you still didn't make enough money to put yourself in a nice nursing home. Whose fault is that? It's still your fault. That's still your fault.
Normal, and then she just passed away. The researchers who wrote about this said it
Millennials hate their boomer parents? Yeah, that's pretty common. That's pretty common.
Happened a lot. The last case, the strangest of all,
I hear a lot of cases of that happening.
Was in Germany. It sounds unbelievable, and there are those that doubt it happened.
But I do wonder why. Oh, it's such a mystery.
It is a fact.
It's
that
such a mystery.
Physicians witnessed it and wrote about it. It's about a 26-year-old woman named
Big B says, I used to judge until I worked in a home. I get some of them are so far gone, there's no light in their eyes. In the eyes, so it's just a husk. You're taking care of a living corpse. Why? Okay. Well, that's... Damn.
Anna Katerina
Damn.
Emmer. She was committed to an asylum and was looked after by 2 well-known physicians.
Is their soul trapped in there? Or are they just like, are they dead? Is their soul in heaven? And then no, they're in there. They're in there for sure. They're still in there. But none of the shit works. It's like being in a broken down fucking shitbox Honda Civic from like the early 80s. And the doors are locked. And it's hot as fuck outside. And then you're in there. You're not going anywhere. You just kind of have to sit there. You just sweat. It's just a fucking sweat box, right? You can't break the windows or nothing, right? So you just sit there, and eventually you're going to die. But every once in a while, a nurse comes around and pushes the Honda Civic around a little bit and be like, look at all the stuff. Ooh. And you know, they pretend you enjoy it. You don't enjoy it. You just want it to end. You want it to end.
This woman had been severely retarded from birth, never able to talk, never able to properly...
Now they're gone. The motor is running, but no one is behind the wheel. So it's like a Tesla filled with dead people. Cool. And you ever think, now it's going to be a situation from henceforth, it probably has already happened, where people will arrive at their destination dead. They're going to arrive, like drop their kids off at school, drive back home. They're going to be dead the entire time. Just have a heart attack. The instant you sit in the car, right after you push the button, right, to run your errands, right, then you just die of... Fuckhead? What the fuck? Fucking ripping around my... You just die. You just die right there. And then it just takes you around town doing your errands and you're just dead. A rotting corpse in a Tesla. You're probably going to be seeing more of that. You're going to be seeing more stories of that happening.
Feed herself. She pooped and peed herself every day. Doctor said she was like a wild animal, never really aware what was happening around her. Okay, this is going to blow you away. So one day, she was in the hospital bed after having her...
Or does the Tesla have some weird weekend at Bernie's mode where it's all like, okay, we're going to take you to the hospital? They probably will do that, right? Where they'll, okay, this person is dying. We should probably go to the hospital. Great. No more ambulances. No more $5,000 ambulance rides. Just crawl into your Tesla and say hospital, and then it'll take you there.
Her leg amputated because of osseous tuberculosis. Her family were there because the doctor said she wasn't going to make it. This woman that had never said a single word or recognized a family member suddenly started chatting with everyone there. She was overjoyed, intelligent, and happy to talk about life. Doctors said she looked like she was enjoying spiritual ecstasy. For half an hour, she talked and laughed and smiled so wide. She then started singing a song that went like this. Where does the soul find its home? It's peace. Peace, peace, heavenly peace. Half an hour later, she was dead.
She dead.
This is a true story. It's been talked about in journals and no...
Yeah, so she didn't speak her entire life. Her entire life. The only time she ever said anything was like half an hour before she died. And she was all like, it was a prank. It's a prank. I was pretending to be comatose my entire life. And I got up and apparently know how to speak the English well. And I'm super chill. And I'm dead now. And then everyone just looks at each other like... And they bust out laughing because they can see the sense... That bitch was funny. That's a funny prank, dude. I mean, it's devastating, right? It's a quintessential long con. Like, holy shit, the dedication to a bit, that is remarkable.
No one has ever
That is some Andy Kaufman level shit, man.
been able to explain what happened. In fact, the Scientific American wrote that.
Yeah, haha, I made you clean my shit for 40 years. Oh, you got me. You got me. We cried and we wondered who would take care of you after we were gone. But now, but thankfully you're dead now, right? And you sprung the ruse on us right before it happened. Right before it happened, you're all like, ha, it's been a joke the whole time. I gotta go. I gotta go. That's my time. Thank you. Like closing up a tight five. Jesus.
Speculated that most scientists have shied away from the case
Funny,
in similar cases just because they don't meld well with.
Got him. That is a hardcore got him, right? That is a heartbreaking, devastating got him.
Scientific materialism.
Your parents had all these hopes and dreams of what you would be when you grow up, and then when you're just a little baby, you go into this like catatonic state, and then 40 years later, you're all like, ah. I would be mad, but I'd be like, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I get it. Jess would not be that way. She would be mad. She would be.
Can you explain it? Now you need to watch this.
Women, they don't have a sense of humor. Anyways, back to the job market. We had a little tangent there.
And over half struggling to afford food, 70% of employers posting fake job listings believe it is morally acceptable, claiming it to lead to a boost in morale, revenue, and productivity, leaving hiring rates to fall to their lowest level since 2013, despite this supposedly being the strongest job market in history. And unfortunately, this complete standstill, alongside the lack of any forward planning for where all this supposed job growth is even supposed to come from, has culminated right as Gen Z is entering the workforce. Despite postings for entry-level jobs in the United States declining by...
I have to shift gears here now, because I was like making fun of people dying and stuff. Now I'm like, okay, now jobs and stuff. All right. But that would be a good bit. 40 years of you just like, all right, and you're feeding her with a spoon that's dribbling out of her mouth and stuff like that. And your parents, like, just, bending over backwards just to take care of this husk of a human being that, they gave birth to, and then they implicitly have to love. It's just an animalistic type of love that you can't just be like, oh, well, you put them in there, oh, well. No, you have to love it no matter what. This is why you carry it around, this fucking robot R2-D2 fucking thing from Short Circuit. What was that robot's name? You ride the robot from Short Circuit around your entire life. Spend millions of dollars. All for one day. You come back and be like, JK. Ha ha, JK, Mom. Whoo! Wow. I almost broke. Like, a few times, like when Grandma died at Christmas, like, oh my God. It's been a good run. Later, y'all. Just leave them in a state of confusion for eternity. The rest of their lives, they're boggled. That's the humor I appreciate. That's the kind of... I appreciate the dedication, don't get me wrong. But, like, the kind of humor where you disrupt somebody's life from that point forward... it's fucking hilarious to me. Like going to like a Girl Scout cookie table where they're selling, hey, would you like some Samoas? Do you take cash? And they're like, no, sorry, we don't have to take cash. Oh no. Just blow your brains out in front of a bunch of Girl Scouts and just change them. Just change who they are going to be in the future. Because of that, right? They're going to be like, I don't understand. The utter confusion. I understand that that example might have been a little bit over the top. But you get what I'm getting at? Yeah. Yeah, you do.
35% since 2023. 2/3 of all entry-level roles are now being filled by workers with over 7 years of work experience. Effectively meaning that not only is Gen
Yeah,
Z
Johnny 5, but what was the actual robot called?
being completely blocked out from the job market.
I understand it was Johnny 5 is the name of the robot, but like it doesn't have like a fucking serial number like 3CPO or R2D2. Is it one of those, like HAL 9000? I feel like there's a number involved. Right, 5, but never mind. Never mind. Am I the idiot? I'm the idiot. I'm sorry. Ugh.
But there are millennials that are currently being forced to take
Pragmata is pretty good, isn't it?
entry-level pay. In a working paper for the National Bureau of Economic Research, researchers found that
John's been pulling the old retard prank on his parents for 37 years. Bro, you don't even know. Yes, they do think I'm legitimately retarded, but like, you don't even know. I mean, if I had to sit here and actually explain it to you, they don't understand. They don't know. Like, you are correct, but on a level that you would be shocked by.
employed workers today are roughly half as likely to receive a higher paying outside job offer as they were in the 1980s, despite major wage growth historically occurring when workers changed employers, stating that the quality of available jobs has gotten so bad that workers...
I don't know if I could hold the Terry Schiavo stare that long. Sure you could. Terry Schiavo. I mean, if they're talking about killing you and you still don't blink, you're talented. Right? You're holding a bit so long. They're talking about like pulling the plug on you. And then you just have to be like, no, I'm actually just kidding. Please don't kill me. It's going to be real awkward when they pull the plug and then nothing happens. You're just sitting there still alive. And you continue the bit. But every once in a while you pull a chicken nugget out of your pocket and chomp it down when they're not looking, right?
are increasingly trapped in low-paying positions.
You're just starving. You're so hungry.
with limited mobility, highlighting how despite the unemployment rate supposedly sitting near 4.3%, roughly 72% of Americans told Gallup it is still a bad time to find a quality job. Once again reinforcing the reality of an economy increasingly represented only by those benefiting.
And it's the whole bit, the entire retard bit for years is just so you don't have to get a job. Just so you don't have to you don't have expectations of buying a house. You like look at the housing prices one year and you're like, $700,000 for that, huh? And minimum wage is $7 an hour. Do the math. It's just, and you just like, and they're like, we don't know what happened to him. Just one day, he started shitting himself, and he's got like this. Yeah, yep. You'd have to give up video games. That might suck. But you have to have commitment. You have to commit to the bit.
From the K-shaped recovery. And even for the small percentage...
Retard maxing is a bit. It's not a bit. It's a lifestyle. It is a hack, sir. It's not,
Gen Z that actually manages to break through and land one of these so-called entry-level roles. What they're met with is not an...
Teresa said, retard bit so you don't have to get a job. John literally describing himself again. So am I a retard or am I a genius? Am I fucking brilliant? According to my wife and my parents and my doctors and teachers, I'm retarded. But according to me, I'm brilliant.
Opportunity for a career, but a job that pays less.
So there. Gotcha, I guess.
Offers no...
Yes. Hold on. Hold on. When you actually, like, reiterate it and like think about it, it doesn't look great.
Real benefits provides little to no
You start putting together the pieces and shit like, they could have a point.
pathway for advancement and ultimately does nothing to address the issues actually plaguing society, which is why I'm grateful
John
to be
1, Dr. 0.
partnered with 80,000 Hours.
Got him. I mean, it's pretty good. That's a pretty good bit.
80,000 Hours is a nonprofit that aims to help people find careers that contribute to solving the world's most pressing problems. They provide free resources that help break down how
I need another drink. Jessica. I crushed it. That's the best I could do. I have the hand strength of an Indian.
your career can influence areas like global health.
Jessica. Jessica, I'm thirsty. Jessica, thirsty. Jessica, I'm thirsty. Jessica.
Factory farming and AI safety, alongside a job board built around high-impact roles and
Sorry about that. I'm just thirsty, and I don't want to have to get up.
free one-on-one advising to evaluate career paths and causes. They also recently released an updated version of their book, which is officially available for pre-order, titled 80,000 Hours.
Fine, I'll get up
How
and
to
get
Have
my
a
own
Fulfilling Career
beverage.
That Tastes Good, which challenges traditional advice by explaining why following your passion can be misleading, why so-called safe careers are increasingly exposed to automation, why traditional career advice no longer works in the age of AI, and why many of the most critical global problems remain overlooked. So if you want help building a career that is meaningful, fulfilling, and aligned with solving real problems, check out the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Thank you 80,000 Hours for partnering with the channel. And while wage growth has now fallen to just 3.9%, meaning wages are merely running parallel with government-reported inflation, executives at the S&P 500 firms with the lowest median employee pay still saw compensation increase by an average of nearly 35% over the past 5 years, proving the unfortunate reality that as long as the top 10% of Americans can continue maintaining the majority of consumer purchasing power before we fully discover what our
Okay.
AI reality will become,
There is
fundamentally no incentive
I'm back.
for honest
I'm back.
representation or meaningful solutions to the labor market
Jess, lasagna now. Her mom's here, so it's like.
conditions the majority of Americans actually face. But something that we must understand when it comes to this K-shaped recovery is those on the
I know.
echelon, those actually benefiting from the economy. Let's take somebody like Jamie Dimon. So he is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. If he didn't show up for work, do you think anybody that works
What's going on here? Let's talk about retard maxing and something. You guys are talking about what? Lasagna? Never giving up video games? Okay. Yeah.
inside of a Chase branch would actually have their
I lost interest in this, or I just lost my train of thought. But this one looks good. What dying from every deadly disease feels like. So it's like a gay simulator. It's like being gay. The ride.
This is how dying from every
The ride.
deadly infectious disease feels like. Rabies. Imagine you're walking home one evening when a stray raccoon suddenly
Gay people do get rabies. They do get because they sometimes, not always, have sex with dogs.
spawned in front of you.
Sometimes, not always.
It's moving strangely slow and stumbling, and its mouth is drooling. Before you can step back, it jumps and bites your left forearm. You pull away, wash the wound at the sink with soap and water, and within a week, the wound is barely visible. A month passes, then another. You forget about it entirely. Then one morning, you feel a tingling in your left arm, right where the bite was. You assume it's nothing serious, but a few days later, you got a fever. And then, a restless, uncomfortable feeling you can't shake out no matter how much you rest. What you don't know is that the rabies virus has been crawling up your nerves this whole time. Around
Cool.
12 to 100 millimeters a day. Totally invisible, with zero symptoms. And by the time you feel that tingle, the virus has already reached your brain. Once it's there, things get bad fast. The virus attacks the part of your brain that controls your emotions, your behavior, and your
Is that what's going on with me? I have rabies? I don't remember contracting rabies.
basic body functions like swallowing and breathing. Your family rushes you to the hospital. Then a nurse brings you a glass of water and holds it to your mouth. The second the water touches your lips, your throat locks up in a violent spasm. This is called hydrophobia, which literally just means fear of water. But it's not actually fear. It's just your brain misfiring that made your reflex go haywire. And it's not just the water that does it. Even a small breeze blowing across your face can trigger the same full-body seizure. On top of that, because of those spasms, you can't even swallow your own spit. It just constantly pulls in your mouth. The virus actually
Damn, it
takes
sounds
over
like
your
it
salivary.
sucks. Getting rabies would be the worst. That would be the worst way to die. Getting rabies would be the worst way to die. Can I drink liquid? Yeah. I can drink. So I have rabies, but like the T virus variant, where it's like it's just become more of an asshole until eventually I have to eat some of these brains.
Glands on purpose.
I don't know how the T virus works.
Rabies spreads through saliva, so flooding your mouth is how it makes sure the next victim gets infected.
More like gabies. Got him.
Your body is just
Shut
a delivery
up.
system for the next infection. After that, slowly, your muscles stop working altogether. The paralysis starts at your legs, then climbs up to your arms, then reaches your chest. Eventually, you lose control of your entire body, fall into a coma, and die within 2 to 10 days after the first symptoms showed.
So why don't they just kill you before all that happens? Like they can't test you have rabies unless they kill you. They have to take a piece of your brain and be like, yep, rabies.
No, but there is a way to stop rabies, but it only works if you act before symptoms start. If you get bitten by an animal and go to a doctor the same day you get bitten, it can give you a series of vaccine shots over the next few days. Those shots stop the virus before it ever gets to your brain. That window between the bite and the first symptom is the only time medicine can save you. Once symptoms appear, there's nothing doctors can do. Ebola. You're an aid worker in West Africa. You've been there for 3 weeks, helping at a rural clinic. This morning, you woke up with a headache. You take some painkillers, drink water, and assume it's the heat. But by afternoon, your whole body feels heavy. Even lifting your arms feels like too much effort. So the
Rabies would be a terrible bioweapon. Yeah, but it'd be difficult to like spread. It would be difficult to spread. Unless they engineered it not to be difficult. Like put it in the water supply or like aerosolized it. And then you could like breathe it in.
doctors run some tests, give you some medicine, and you rest.
2 videos of people the last stages of rabies. It's scary shit. Yeah, I bet it is.
But none of it helped.
Were they Indian? I feel like they were Indian. I feel like they would be African or Indian. Am I correct about that?
Because what you actually have is Ebola, and it's been quietly multiplying inside your body for 5 days already. Here's what it has been doing to you this whole time. Your blood vessels are basically long tubes that carry blood to every part of your body, and the inner walls of those tubes are lined with a thin layer of cells that keep everything sealed. Ebola hunts those lining cells down and destroys them, and as those cells die, small holes open up in the vessel walls. Because of that, blood starts leaking out and your blood pressure begins to fall. At the same time, your immune system is trying to fight back. It sends out its defender cells to attack the virus. But Ebola does something that most viruses cannot do. It can possess.
It curb stomps them. And it says, it's right here. Not means not welcome. And it just curb stomps them like that. Probably.
The defender cells
American History X.
and take control of
That's
them.
probably what
Those
happens.
possessed cells then start flooding the body with emergency signals. Think of these signals like messages telling nearby blood
Gotta get the shots in the belly button, I think? No. Really? No. No.
vessels to relax and open up wider. Normally, this helps immune cells move around faster to fight an infection. But with Ebola, the signal never stops and happens everywhere at once. So the blood vessels keep opening more and more until they get so loose they can barely hold blood inside. For the first few days, you can still convince yourself this is just a bad fever. But around day 4 or day 5, something changed. You start throwing up. At first, just once or twice. But then it doesn't stop. Then comes the diarrhea. And together, they start draining your body of around 3 to 5 liters of fluid every single day. In the
Oof.
worst cases, up to 10 liters. You're losing water faster than anyone can put it back in. And that's only the stuff you can see coming out of you, because inside, there's something worse. With the vessel walls now destroyed throughout your body, your blood starts forcing its way out wherever it can find a gap, from your gums, your eyes, through needle puncture sites, and bleeding heavily from deep inside the gut. With that much fluid and blood gone, your blood pressure drops even more. Your kidneys need steady pressure to clean waste from your blood, so they start to fail. And after the kidneys, the liver follows them. Because Ebola also directly infects and kills your liver cells. Without the liver, your body can't make the proteins it needs to clot blood properly. So the bleeding just gets worse. Eventually, the combination of organs shutting down, fluids drained, and blood loss getting worse, your heart can't maintain enough pressure to keep going. Somewhere between 6 and 16 days after that first headache, your body finally gives out. But even the people who survive don't fully escape them. As one survivor put it, it ain't over even when it's over. Doctors call it post-Ebola syndrome. About 75% of survivors still deal with joint pain, headaches, muscle aches, blurred vision, and crushing fatigue. And studies show that even 5 years later, more than half of them still have these symptoms. The virus may be gone, but the damage stays. Bubonic plague.
Damn.
Imagine you're living in Florence, Italy.
Killed a third of Europe. So a lot of people died of
The
this.
spring of 1348. For months, people have been gossiping about a sickness coming in from the east. But Florence is one of the richest cities in the world, and nobody's going to stop their life over a rumor. So the markets stay open, and the streets stay crowded. Then one day you wake up with a fever and a strange lump under your armpit. By evening, that lump has swollen to the size of an egg. It's burning hot, and the pain is so bad you can barely move your arm. You have no idea that a flea bite you never even felt started all of this. And the flea brought tiny bacteria that outmaneuvered your entire immune system. The bacteria behind bubonic plague is called Yersinia pestis. See, when something harmful enters your body, your immune system immediately sends out destroyer cells to destroy the threat. But Yersinia pestis has a way around that. When one of those destroyer cells swallows the bacteria, instead of dying, the bacteria pulls out a set of tools to counter it. One tool injects a paralyzing chemical into...
That sounds like it sucks. Wait, okay. Cholera, typhoid fever, AIDS.
AIDS. You're 23 years old, living in San Francisco.
I've been to this street corner. I know where this is.
In 1983. One morning, you notice a dry cough that won't go away. You figure it's the weather. Over the next few months, life stays mostly normal. You go to work, you see your friends, you lose a little weight, but nothing alarming. But the cough never leaves. You get tired climbing stairs you used to take
You're taking shots in the ass, and then something happens.
two at a time. And what you don't know is that a virus called HIV has been quietly destroying your immune system this entire time. Here's how it works. Your immune system runs on special cells called CD4 cells. Think of them as the generals of your body's army. They spot threats, call in backup, and run the entire defense. HIV works by finding those generals, breaks inside them, rewrites their DNA, and turns them into virus factories. They make those every new cell that grows from them carries the virus too, like this guy. For 8 to 10 years, the virus slowly wipes out your generals one by one, until no one is left to protect you. Your body is open to attack for every germ, fungi, and parasites you can find. Then, one morning, you wake up and breathing starts to feel like trying to inhale through a wet sponge. Your lungs fill up with a fungal infection that a healthy body would have wiped out in hours. After that, your eyes start acting weird. You see small floating spots, and things look a bit blurry. It feels like the kind of problem you might blame on lack of sleep. But then your vision starts getting dark from the sides. Around the same time, the headaches begin. Then the seizures. Then come the moments where you cannot remember where you are, or even what year it is, because another infection has reached the brain. You also stop being able to absorb food properly. No matter how much you eat, the weight keeps dropping. Your muscles slowly gone. Fever becomes constant instead of coming and going. Basically, every disease starts hitting at once, because your protective barrier is broken down, and there's nothing left to hold these infections back. For over 40 years, HIV and AIDS killed 44.1 million people around the world. In 1996, doctors figured out a combination of drugs that could keep the virus under control. and deaths in the United States dropped by nearly half in just 1 year. But even those drugs don't kill the virus. They just hold them back. And as of today, there is still no cure. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Imagine you've had the flu for about 4 days.
Stop being gay. That would be the cure. That would be the cure. All right. It's Friday. I'm running 14 minutes left. This is what I'm doing.
A secret government experiment turned animals into spies. A lie about food created a global crisis, and powerful men were caught performing strange
This is insane conspiracy theories that turned out to be true.
rituals in the woods. These stories sound like nonsense. Many people didn't believe them. Then the truth came
Play something happy? It's a Sulk stream. You send me something happy.
out. Today we're diving into insane
And
conspiracy
I will play it.
theories that were true all along. We'll begin with the strange cases and work our way to the most shocking. Our goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, and it is
Yeah, that's my goal too.
crazy, so it would mean the world if you
What year is it now?
subscribe. I will do my very best to put
If I got 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, I'll say the N-word.
out the best videos I
I'll
can.
say the
Our
N-word.
visual venture and you are awesome. The animal spy conspiracy.
So it's like that. Yeah.
During the Cold
I don't have anything else to offer.
War, the U.S.
You want me to be funny? I'm not gonna be funny.
and Soviet Union
You guys have clearly seen that.
spied on each other.
What?
That's no secret. But there's one bizarre conspiracy theory from that period. People claimed the CIA tried to turn animals into spies. It sounded crazy.
Okay.
Declassified
Spy cat.
documents proved it actually happened. In the early 1960s, being a CIA spy meant risking your life. Anyone caught spying in the Soviet Union could be executed. The CIA
I know I did, but I thought I was muted. Free side. I know I said those things, but I thought I was muted.
wanted to spy
So audio has fucked me again.
without putting agents
Surprise, surprise.
in danger. So they came up with a strange idea.
Surprise,
Stop relying on
surprise.
human agents. That was where cats came in. The CIA realized cats could go anywhere without drawing attention. That made them perfect spies. So the agency launched Project Acoustic Kitty. The goal was simple. Turn a cat into a walking listening device. Surgeons would implant a microphone, a radio transmitter, and an antenna into the cat's body. The idea was that the cat would move near a target, the mic would capture
Whoever thought of this idea never had a cat. Never owned a cat. Cuz how do you propose to get the cat next to the target? To train it? That's not how cats work, man.
the conversation.
That's not at all how cats
and the
work.
transmitter would send the audio to
They don't give a fuck what you... No. You're not going to train a cat. You can train a dog. You can train a dog all day long. You cannot train a cat. And it's not like they're stupid. Some of them are very stupid. But like, they know what you're saying. They simply don't care. They simply don't care. They're just not interested. Right? Even with food, they're constantly bored. Right? That's why they push stuff off of counters and just watch you clean it up and shit like that. And you love them anyway. They don't care.
the CIA. On paper, it sounded smart. In real life, it was chaos. Implanting those devices into a living creature was tricky. It took months to figure out. One report said they made a monstrosity. At that point, it was time to train the cat. But a new problem came up. The cat was hard to control. During training, it kept wandering off and chasing birds. It also kept stopping to look for food. Even so, the agency decided the spy cat was ready. It was time for a real mission. In 1967, the CIA released the spy cat near the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. Two men were sitting on a nearby park bench. Agents wanted the cat to get close enough to record the conversation. They released the cat. It stepped into the street. Then a taxi hit it. The mission was over before it even began. By then, the agency
So, it's a $20 million. That's $170 million today. That fucking just gets fucking rolled by a car. Yep. Somebody had to explain that.
He already spent about $20 million on the project. That's roughly $170 million today.
It would only take me and Lucas to make you quit over audio, John. Okay. Challenge accepted.
But they decided to quietly shut it
I mean, like, I don't even think it's that difficult, but, like, go ahead.
down. One memo said the
You know, I could ban anybody at any time. I have that power.
project was not practical.
I have that
However,
power.
The agency
I don't really like flexing it. I don't like using it very often, but I have used it.
didn't give up on the idea of animal spies. Instead, they tried something even stranger. By the early 1970s, CIA engineers came up with a new plan. If real animals were too hard to control, they would build a machine that looked like
RoboCat. Perfect. And I didn't mean to do the purr part. All right, just perfect. RoboCat. It's a brilliant idea.
one. That idea became the Insectithopter.
Oh, not a cat? Okay.
It was a tiny drone built to look like a dragonfly. It had a tiny engine that powered the wings. A microphone was hidden in the head, and operators could control it remotely. By 1976,
They actually have those now. Like back then, the tech was not good enough to actually make it, but now it's definitely good enough. They can make a fly do that, and they probably do. They're probably they can make a mechanical mosquito that, unless you looked very closely at it, you would just think it's a normal mosquito. That mechanical mosquito can land on you, inject a deadly toxin to murder you, and then you're dead. And then everyone's like, no one would understand what happened. You just died.
the CIA had a working prototype.
This is the first flight of the insect-sized unmanned aerial vehicle called Insectithopter. Flight tests were impressive.
The plan was for it to fly close to a target and record conversations. Once again, it didn't work well in real life. The drone was extremely light. That meant even a small breeze could push it off course. Agents struggled to keep it steady long enough to record anything useful. Eventually, the project was abandoned. The Acoustic Kitty and Insectithopter
Birds aren't real. Some of them are probably not real. Some of them are probably not real.
projects remained classified for decades. People talked about them, but no one could confirm they were real. Then in the early 2000s, the CIA declassified some documents. That was when the truth finally became public. In 2003, the CIA put an Insectithopter prototype on display in its museum. The company in our next chapter secretly did something to millions of their own customers and didn't tell anyone. The Batterygate conspiracy. For years, iPhone users noticed a frustrating pattern. Whenever Apple
You can't remove the battery
released a new iPhone, the older
because they don't want you to be able to remove the battery. And there's a reason why. It's because they want to be able to track you. And even when your battery is dead in your iPhone, it still sends out tracking signals for like months. Months and months and months. So that's why you can't remove the battery.
models seemed to get slower. Many users believed Apple was doing this on purpose to push them to buy the latest iPhone. People thought this theory was crazy, and if you believed it, you were just paranoid. Then in 2017, something happened, and suddenly you didn't seem so crazy after all. That year, Apple released a software update called iOS 10.2.1. After users installed it, complaints started pouring in. Users with older iPhones said their batteries were acting strangely. A phone might show a 30% battery, then suddenly drop to 1%. Seconds later, the phone would shut down. People complained all over social media. They were confused, frustrated, and demanded answers. But Apple didn't respond. So one man decided to look into it himself. John Poole was a software developer. He noticed that people were complaining about their iPhones. His wife was one of them.
My wife just offhand mentioned that her iPhone 6S felt slow, and the numbers that we got out of it were significantly lower than what I'd expect from a phone like that.
Poole knew enough about phones to analyze the situation.
It was sort of a eureka moment, and that's what prompted me to really take a deep dive into our database of performance data and see what was happening.
He ran performance tests on older iPhones and compared the results to newer ones. What he found was hard to ignore. Older iPhones running newer versions of iOS had lower performance scores, but it was only happening to phones with older batteries. After analyzing everything, he reached one unsettling conclusion. Apple was deliberately slowing down older iPhones. Poole published his findings on his blog on December 2017. Millions read it and they were furious. For the first time, the old joke about Apple slowing phones down didn't feel like a joke anymore. Now Apple had to answer for it. Just 2 days after Poole's blog went viral, Apple
Ow. That probably hurt them.
released a statement.
Apple confirms it slows down the performance of older iPhones to reduce power demands.
The company admitted it
Power demand? What do you mean to reduce power demand?
was slowing down older phones, but it said there was a good reason for it. As iPhones get older, so do their batteries. Older batteries can't handle power the way they used to. If an older battery is pushed too hard, the phone might shut down or crash. To prevent that from happening, Apple added software that reduced the processor speed on older models. With that explanation,
Bullshit. Bullshit,
didn't calm
dude.
customers down. The problem wasn't just the slowdown. The problem was that Apple kept it hidden. Soon, lawsuits began piling up.
So far, 2 lawsuits have been filed in Los Angeles and Illinois, claiming those suing never consented to allow Apple to slow their older iPhones.
Apple was sued in the US, Canada, Israel, and several European countries. Attorneys said Apple acted deceptively by hiding the shutdown and slowdown issues. In 2020, Apple agreed to settle the lawsuits. The company reportedly paid about $500 million. Every iPhone user included in the lawsuit received a little less than $100. But as part of the deal, Apple did not admit to breaking any laws or any other wrongdoing. Today, Apple's
Breaking any laws? I don't know if they broke a law, but wrongdoing definitely.
more transparent about battery performance. The company also added a new feature that shows battery health. Up next is the story of a product that millions of people bought without knowing
Apple
it was
is
a death
gay,
trap. The Ford Pinto conspiracy. The Ford Pinto is remembered as one of the most dangerous cars ever. Even a small crash could make it burst into flames. Many people ended up in the emergency room. The conspiracy theory was that Ford themselves knew the cars were going to explode, but they hid that information and sold it anyway. That was a serious accusation, but the truth was even worse. In the 1960s, the Ford Motor Company was in trouble. Other car companies were selling smaller, cheaper vehicles, and Ford needed something that could compete. So the CEO told engineers to build a car that was cheap, small, and fuel efficient. Those targets were difficult but not impossible. The real problem was time. Designing a new car normally took 43 months. Ford engineers were given only 25. That deadline forced them to rush the design process. The result was the Ford Pinto. Eventually, it was time for crash testing, which is standard for any new car. Engineers wanted to see what would happen if the Pinto crashed. When the Pinto was hit from behind, the gas tank ruptured. Fuel spilled, sparks flew, and then boom, the Pinto burst into flames. Ford crash tested the car over 40 times. The same problem occurred. When the Pinto was rear-ended, the car caught fire. The problem came from the car's design. Engineers placed the gas tank right behind the rear bumper. Despite the obvious danger, Ford moved ahead with production. Thousands of Pintos were built and sold. It was an instant hit.
When I bought my Pinto, I figured it was a good value, but I didn't know how good until my dad started borrowing it. So I ended up buying my own.
Then I bought one, and I bought one.
And I bought one.
Millions of Americans bought one. They had no idea they were getting into a death trap. Not long after the Pinto hit the road, the disasters began. Drivers reported the same terrifying pattern. Another car would hit them from behind. Then the Pinto would burst into flames. It happened again and again. Too often to be a coincidence. Some victims began to ask, did Ford already know this could happen? Ford said there was no problem. The Pinto met all safety standards. Even so, some victims filed lawsuits. Those cases went to trial in the mid-1970s, and the Pinto case became a national story. As the trial got more attention, one reporter decided to dig deeper. He got access to Ford's internal company records. What he found was alarming. The document showed that Ford engineers already knew the car could explode, but that wasn't the worst part. Once the accidents began, Ford had another chance to act. The company thought about recalling every Pinto and fixing the issue, but executives felt it would be too expensive.
Great show. Thank you. It's the weekend. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay strong out there. I will catch you guys next week. I hope you guys stay safe. I'll see you guys on Monday. Until then, drink a lot of water, get a good night's sleep, and take care of yourselves because I care about you too. Deuces, guys. Have fun this weekend. See you on Monday. Bye. Love you. Love you. Love you. Goodbye.
an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, blowing like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word.